So you're starting your new job as a software engineer, software developer, and you're feeling a little bit of nerves. How do you handle that? How do you manage that? A great question. First things first, I want you to understand that you are not alone. People graduate with bachelor's, master's, PhDs, multiple years of experiences. There's something about the unknown of a brand new role that brings everyone just a little bit of unease. So you're not abnormal. You are quite normal in that. So much so that I even equated to when I go to do public speaking. I gave a number of talks in the past year. I think at last count 17 talks between virtual and in person. And every time, right before I give a talk, even in as recently as in December, I always feel the heart racing and maybe a little sweaty palms. And I've come over time to understand that this is my body's response to understanding something major is about to happen, some major event is about to take place. And it is giving my central nervous system a little jolt, a little bit of a boost. And so what I've learned to do is to transform that energy into energy that I give my crowd, not just focus on the feelings themselves. And that's what I want to encourage you to do, even if it's in a different way, to focus on the controllables. See, there's nothing wrong with feeling nervousness and or imposter syndrome and or thinking through any infinite number of things that might not work out well. But the thing about dwelling in those feelings is none of them are actionable. You can't act in the feelings. You have to act based on knowledge, right? That's just a good program for success of all of life. So focus on the controllables. You don't know the team. Absolutely right. So what do you do about that? Go meet the team. Present yourself to the person who's interested in helping the company and fitting in doing what is needed to help the team succeed, help the company succeed. Learn individuals. Pay attention to the things that you hear. If it's a remote position in particular, you can actually take notes as you do one-on-ones with different people in your department and later on cross-departmentally about who's who and where they fit within the overall scheme of the org. Do what you can to learn people and learn how they operate and how they maneuver, right? Are they more one-on-one? They like the heavy communication. Are they more just keep it on Slack and Teams? Are they more don't bother me? When you learn to communicate people more in their zone, they'll communicate back to you in a way that's helpful for the overall relationship. Next thing, when it comes to actual code, real simple formula is to dig, ask, and over communicate. Dig, ask, and over communicate. So you dig down. You get a new problem, you dig down as deep as you can. You Google, you chat GPT, whatever you're allowed to use in terms of resources, you dig, you try things, you write some unit tests, see what works. And when you get to that point, and different people will give different amounts of time. So this is a good thing to talk about with a one-on-one with your boss. But whenever that span of time is that you've exhausted and you don't have a solution, that's when you go ask, right? And you want to over communicate. You want to make it be known. Don't wait until Thursday to talk about the blocker that you were really encountering at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. That doesn't look so good. Go ahead and bring it up live, right? And if it's still a blocker at the end of the day, then that becomes a new information to carry into the next sprint. But you don't have to wait for the sprint to talk about blockers or to ask for help, look for guidance, talk about what you've tried. And a great scenario for that most seniors will respect is, hey, I'm working on this task, which is supposed to do that. I have tried this, and this, not really getting the results that I wanted. I have done research and looked up these things as well. None of those seem to really apply. Can you give me a little guidance? Or I have these three methods at my disposal, not really sure which to go down, and all of them are going to take a few days. I don't want this story to go over into the next sprint. Can you give me some guidance as to what would be the preferable way to go here? Getting guidance earlier on is to your benefit and is totally, totally expected, right? Now, as you get that feedback, here's the thing. People are saying, like, I don't want to ask questions. Nothing wrong with asking questions, but take note of the answers and take note of the type of umbrella that the answers fall under. So whatever you're given information as an answer, think about, oh, how can I apply this in other scenarios as well? So when those other scenarios come to your attention, you have now a library of solutions to draw from the advice. What you don't want to do is be asking the same question in month 1 as you're asking in month 4, as you're asking in month 9. That will look pretty bad. So begin to get a library, whether you jot it down or make mental notes or put it into code comments in your local branch, whatever you need to do to be sure you're marking. When you need to get exterior help, you're marking down in some way that accumulated knowledge. Last but not least, remember, no one knows all the answers to all the problems they're going to have to solve in their engineering environment. In fact, a perfectly placed person, whether they're an L3 or an L8 or whatever level is appropriate for where you work, for each level, you should be challenged. If there's absolutely no challenge whatsoever at the level where you are, there's no problem that takes you a little bit longer to figure out and think through, then you're probably at the wrong level. So for you to come in as a brand new developer in a brand new team and experience challenges is expected. It's normal, and you will find that in every level. And when you go from being that junior engineer to a engineer to a senior to a staff, the staff has challenges as well. They're just different types of challenges at a different scope. So don't feel bad about that. I definitely wish you well. If you have any other questions about getting started in a new developer career, just let me know.